Welcome, welcome, welcome to another day of Wingbro. So today's a special day. It's the day of Juan Pablo Duarte, who is one of the founders of Dominican Republic. You can see the flag flying at full mast there. And today there's been processions. There's a tax hike, there's a tax break rather, in the supermarket, so you don't pay any tax on your food. It's a day of celebration for everybody. So nice day to come in from the Dominican Republic. So where do we begin today? So I'll put in the title here today, how to grow back your balls from within the system. How to grow back your testes from within the system. Yeah, this is an important topic because I'm increasingly realizing the more I've spent time in this space, the more time I've traveled, the more time I've had my own business. I've also seen what corporate life is like as well. The more I've realized there really is a system in place which is currently castrating men. It's also sterilizing the women as well. Let me share this with my friends, 1 second. Good, so if any one of those guys want to join, they can join in. Yeah, the system itself, it actually is set up to fail. It actually is. It's set up to castrate men and it's set up to sterilize women. You know, you go back a few hundred years, you had the men out in the fields, you had women doing stuff around the house, around the areas, sweeping, making sure everything was good. You go back even further, you go back to Neolithic, you had the men hunting, you had the women doing the domestic stuff. Further than that, which is 99% of human history, yeah, most of our software or hardware goes back much further than that. Hunting, gathering, right? Some farming, but you had very clearly divided roles between men and women. It wasn't always the case, by the way, that the men were like the head of the household. It mostly was, and especially in the societies that became high civilization, such as Athens, Rome, it absolutely was. But there were societies where it was more egalitarian, some which were even a little bit female dominated as well. That's where you get the phrase the longhouse from. So that's actually a period in history. So yeah, if anything at the moment, we've gone back into that a little bit in the longhouse, but fundamentally men and women used to have these different roles. What has happened since World War II is men have been absolutely castrated to an extent I don't even think you can appreciate unless you leave Western Europe and North America. Depending on the country, women have been sterilized. They basically become, you know, especially like American women, they're basically gay men. That's what American women essentially are. Is it any wonder that the birth rates are going down? Is it any wonder that, you know, marriages aren't staying together, right? Guys no longer know how to assert themselves. They no longer really know, they have a guilty conscience about simply having boundaries, about being forceful, about being dominant. Guys have a guilty conscience about this. They think it's wrong. They think it's bad about being leaders. Because if you have a leader, that means you have a subordinate. Yeah? Well, naturally, that means we're not equal. Right? If we have a leader, we have a subordinate, we're not equal. But who said anything about equality? Nature, there is no equality in nature, right? It doesn't exist. Since World War II, we've had this drive towards equality. The reason is not ideological, it's not good. Women are absolutely fucking miserable. 50% of them on antidepressants. 50%, dude. 50% are mentally ill at this point. They complain more than ever, they're more spoiled than ever. I don't want to go down this route. Obviously, there's good ones, yeah? There's still 10, 20% who are good. They're less attractive than ever as well, just as a general proposition to men. Men have lost their way, men have lost their confidence. And it's not just economics. The economics is actually the most easy part to solve. And what happens is, and I know this from my work with Wingbro and also from the mastermind I'm in, guys get the high level of economics and they think, right, now I can go and be the Giga Chad, I've got the money, the girls are all gonna lay down at my feet. And what they don't realize is there is deeper work to be done. There's deeper work to be done. You have not developed a sense of self-confidence. You're not able to give directions. You're not able to give instructions. You're not able to even admit what you want from women, whether that's the relationship or whether that's short-term sex. You're not able to go and be direct and get to the point. Even now in 2026, when we're supposedly so liberal, which, by the way, we're not. We're not. This is one of the most puritanical periods. People think it's all wild now. It was more wild 20 years ago. I know because I'm 40. And it was even more wild before that. I was just reading a book a few days ago about, it was written by a journalist in 1950s Hollywood. And he was saying that in one of their parties, literally every single person in the party, apart from him and one of the older ladies who was an elder statesman of Hollywood, they all just got naked and just started dancing naked in this party, right? This is the Dionysian wildness that used to go on. But anyway, all of that aside, guys have lost their way. With each passing decade, things have got worse and worse and worse. I think now things have hit such a nadir that actually they are going to bounce up again, or at least I hope so. And that's part of what I'm here to do as well, is to encourage guys to go out, first of all, to learn how to actually carry yourself in public, to carry yourself with women, to carry yourself in general, but also to go out and start to feel more confident in yourself. Yeah, start to feel comfortable leading, start to feel comfortable pushing things forward, right? It's animal instincts, man, it's animal instincts. Most of our evolutionary past was not in a fucking liberal democracy, right? So our evolutionary instincts, they don't come from the modern worlds. Yeah. So why would pushing the buttons of the modern world, why would they work on a creature such as us? It's not going to work, is it? Yeah. And so there's been this push towards equality since the Second World War. There's been a push against nationalism as well, which is extremely obvious. And there's just been a general egalitarian slide. It actually started in the French Revolution. That's where it really started. But there's been this egalitarian slide, and that may be good for society. It actually may be. I'm not refusing all aspects of that. Some aspects are not, though. But there are some aspects that may be good for society. But it's terrible for male-female interaction, male-female attraction. It's absolutely abysmal for it. And so, yeah, this is just a situation guys find themselves in. And a lot of guys spend their time at work just plugging away on the computer, feeling absolutely neutered, feeling like a fucking politician. Like, you have to mind your P's and Q's all the time because you don't want to offend HR, you don't want to get yourself fired, lose your source of income. You got some annoying women who are some of them are very well cut out for these bitchy little environments. You got the little beta males who shouldn't even be in your vicinity who you've got to deal with. You know, it's a bad place for guys, actually. It's a bad place for guys. It's actually a really bad place for the more alpha type of guys because just like, they're bound to leave, actually. They're bound to leave. And this is another issue in modernity, is the best guys, the guys who should be leaders, guys who are organic leaders, leadership being a combination of social skills, confidence, intelligence, and a little bit of physicality. That's what a leader in general is. They're organic leaders. What you have in charge is there are some organic leaders you see who are politicians. You see some actors, you see some football managers, organic leaders. What you have in charge of a lot of companies, managerial, and even entire nation states are more the bureaucratic type of guy, right? They're basically a beta male, for want of a better word. Yeah. And this is just very castrating for guys. It's very castrating. And women don't get off it like lightly either, to be honest. Like, you think, oh, women have won in modernity. They have not, my friend. They have absolutely fucked themselves because at the end of the day, as men, the one thing we have is time. I'm 40, Wingbro's out here in Dominican Republic. Before that, I was in Serbia. Before that, I was in Barcelona, Bosnia, Brazil, etc., etc. We can win later on. We can figure this shit out. It might take us a decade or two, but we can figure it out. A woman does not have a decade or two. Yeah? By the time she's my age, her chance of conceiving a child is fucking 3%. It's 3%. My chance is 100%. Yeah, as long as I'm healthy. So women don't have it easy. You're going to have a lot of women who are going to they're going to come to the end of their lineage. Done, finished, you're over. Your family lineage that goes back 300,000 years, finished with you. For what? For what? So you can make phone calls for a living, working, I don't know, fucking marketing or finance or some bullshit. Make phone calls for a living. Your entire family lineage came to an end so you can make phone calls for a living. And they get to 40, 41 and they get fucking depressed because they know it's over. Instinctively, they know it's over. And they know it's over earlier than that, to be honest. They know it in their early 30s. Yeah, it's very, very cold game for women. I'm delineating it. They'll probably, any woman probably see this, probably hate me for saying this stuff, but they know it's fucking true. It's a cold game for women. And it's a cold game for guys early on. So it's cold game for everyone at the moment. Yeah. So, yeah, what do we do? What do we do in this scenario? What's the way out? How can we actually, as guys, estoy bien haciendo eso. Está bien, está bien. Bueno, realmente no lo puedo pausar porque es un live, pero puedo hablar contigo.
¿De qué habla?
Bueno, se trata de la sociedad, en efecto.
¿En qué sentido la sociedad?
De la confianza social. Soy youtuber, bueno, hago en YouTube y se trata de confianza social.
Confianza social.
Sí.
Y entonces la figura es solamente...
Es solo para tener algo lindo por detrás. Sí, solo eso. Está bien. Gracias.
Solamente era para saber de qué trataba el
Ah,
contenido.
no, está bien, ya sé que es el día de celebración y eso, pero es para tener una buena vista, solo eso. Gracias. Okay, something I'm worried about. I don't know what I'm talking about here. So, where was I? Yeah, how do we navigate through this? It's a cold game for men. It's a cold game for women at the moment. How are we actually going to navigate through it? What do we do? For the women's side, I can't take care of that. That is, right now I can't. You give me enough guys, maybe I can, but right now I can't take care of that. For the guys, that's the side I can take care of. That's the side I can take care of. So what do we do? What do we do? If you're a Western guy, you say, Joseph Wingbro, I can't just quit my job and move to like Azerbaijan and just get like a nice traditional wife. I don't have the option. It's not realistic for what can I actually do? Or maybe I'm earning so much money in the corporate job or the bank or whatever. I'm earning like 500 grand a year. I can't just give that up, my friend. It's too much, right? But I can feel some truth in what you're saying. I can feel my balls slightly being pummeled on a daily basis, right? It's just one kick after the next, after the next. The worst is the guys who don't actually realize what's going on. That's the worst. And I think a lot of guys struggle with this. And their wives leave them and stuff. They're loaded and their wives lead them. I know guys, yeah, who are trained fighters who work in extraordinarily high positions, right? Who are earning, I don't actually know, but I'm getting over £1 million sterling a year. Massive amounts, right? And I know for a fact they've got nightmarish personal lives, like women disrespecting them, even women like beating them. I'm not even joking. A trained, like the example I'm thinking of, and it's because the guy believes in equality, basically. Fundamentally, the guy believes in equality. He was sold a lie. He sold a lie. Yeah? So what do you do? What do you do? Well, let's just get very practical with it. Separate. Yeah? Hard division between your personal and your professional life. Absolutely hard division, hard line. Okay? What that means on a day-to-day basis is, even if you're at home, you have to fully change your clothes, go and physically do something at the end of your day, just to remind yourself of the physical animal, that you are. So this is a really good thing I've used when I'm doing a lot of work and it's very mental. I've got to mind my P's and Q's, and I want to go out and do a session in the evening. I have that hard line, I have that hard stop at the end of the day, right? And I often do some physical exercise as well, go and do some push-ups. It's not about even improving your shape, it's just about getting yourself out of this horrible headspace where you're this kind of cocked headspace. That's something very simple and very practical you can do. Other things you can do as well, visualizations, mental exercises, shake things off, come out and do a live, come out and do a video. That will also, that'll do the trick. Talk into your phone, go and do something sociable, and just shake off the day, right? Shake off the day. Shake off all of that fakeness that you've got to deal with all day long. Right, just a simple thing. Also look into Lightning Process by a guy called Dr. Phil Parker. It's a state management tool. I still use it most days. It's a really good tool. That really helps with things like cold approach and being in the optimal state all the time. Secondly, within your job itself, to the extent you can, be as assertive as you can whilst maintaining professionalism. So as assertive as you can while maintaining professionalism. So actually there was a guy from my mastermind, actually yesterday, who talked about this. He said in his corporate job, he's now being more assertive and he's willing to get fired. But he's not crossing the line. Yeah, he's just being more assertive. And obviously a lot of these guys are complete pussies. They can't deal with a norm, not some guy who's imposing, yeah, which I think is also good, but some guy who's just minimally assertive. They can't deal with it. When you actually realize what pathetic specimens most or a lot of people in the professional world are, because they're so stunted. They are so stunted as a human being. All they did was go to school, be a good boy, be a good girl, do the homework, go to netball club, go to running club, go to university, do your homework, get a corporate job. That's literally all they know. Yeah, they don't know independent thought. They don't know leadership. They don't know hard resistance. Yeah, they don't know conflict. They don't know conflict management. Yeah, just basic, low-level conflict management. They can't do it. Yeah, they don't have any fucking skills at all. No resistance, no emotional resistance at all. It's a really fucking bizarre world, man. It's a bizarre, neutered, inverted world that we live in. So when a guy comes out and he's just minimally assertive, well, first of all, people are going to take note of him, but he might ruffle some feathers. But what are your options? As long as you maintain professionalism, you can be minimally assertive, right? Do the least necessary, right? You don't want to overdo it here. You don't want to get yourself like called in front of HR. You don't want to get yourself fired from a lucrative job. But don't take bullshit, man. Don't take bullshit. It's not worth it. Use whatever channels you need to as well, but it's much better to confront things head on with people. And ultimately, what I sincerely hope happens is we just have more guys like, for example, Elon Musk, and more guys like. Some of his stuff I don't like. The way he wants all of his employees to act like they're in a startup and they're founders. It's like, dude, they're employees, dude. Come on. But aside from that, like a guy saying, yeah, I don't give a shit about your university. I don't give a shit about your experience. I just care about your competence. The more companies that form with that mentality and mindset, the better. Also as well, Western countries are just going to become less competitive. That's just a fact. They're going to become less competitive as other places are going to offer founders, directors, options to hire people where they don't have to micromanage a bunch of children. Yeah, so that's something else that's going to happen as well. I see it out here in Dominican. There's companies forming out here all the time, and a lot of it's in English, like not just call centers, other things as well. There's programmers and stuff here. Yeah, same with Macedonia as well. Places where they can just be a bit more straight to the point. You don't have to be ruthless. You don't have to be cruel. Just straight to the point. We're here to work. So that's also a pattern. I think we'll see more of that the next 20, 30 years. You'll see the Western countries getting angry, throwing their toys out the pram. And I have enough faith in the West, in the intellect of the people, that at least some of the countries will wake up. At least some of the countries will wake up. Yeah, obviously US is leading the charge right now. US is definitely leading the charge right now. But I think there'll be others as well. You've also got a dysgenic effect as well. People talk about this of, all the boss bitches are just not going to have children, and that's just a fucking fact. Yeah. So, what are you going to do? Yeah, their lineage will just not exist. So the ideology will die. It won't die, but the ideology is going to reduce because it's like, well, a rotting tree cannot produce good fruit. Yeah, the fruit is going to be disgusting. So the result is going to be people's lives are going to be frustrated. And so that's something else that's going to happen. So on a practical level, be as assertive as possible within the confines of not getting yourself fired. Yeah, but that's just at work. Now we're gonna have to take a step outside of work. And questions have we got here? Happy Balls, what's up, mate? Other people watching, okay. Outside of work, day-to-day stuff, that's actually where you can let loose a little bit more. And it's one of the best things about learning cold approach is you just feel more free. You actually can go and be yourself, and guess what? Women actually like it. Women actually like men. Yeah? Women, a lot of the more feminized, more sexual women, they like the more masculine type of guys. They like the more manly guys. So if that's you, if you're an intelligent, you know, driven, solid guy who's got his shit together, they're gonna fucking love you. They're gonna love you. So don't hide away. Don't hide your dick, yeah? Show them your metaphorical dick in the approach. And it can be quite subtle. It can be quite subtle. The guys who are best at this, we sort of realize going is already bold enough. Paying her a bold compliment is already bold enough. Controlling my vocal tonality is already bold enough. You don't need to do that much more after that, right? Then consistently doing it, you become a more bold action-taking person, right? So you don't need to do that much after that, okay? It kind of takes care of itself for the most part. It's one of the reasons I love cold approach so much. It's fucking amazing. Just watching guys develop, going from, you know, hesitant, effeminized, just guys who just permission seekers, and it's not their fault. They've been enculturated into it through university and work and wider culture, yeah? And anyone who is like any figure who is moderately masculine, meaning masculinity is inherently dangerous, yeah? It's inherently dangerous, yeah? Femininity, it's dangerous in a different way, but masculinity is viscerally dangerous. Any men or groups of men that show pride in themselves, that show a level of controlled aggression, are demonized one way or another. Yeah, so this is just what's going on in the West. It's funny because in Eastern Europe, that's the opposite. That's expected. Same with Latin America as well. It's expected. So if you don't have a little bit of that edge, you're just going to get kind of bullied, to be honest with you, in society. So you need a little bit of that edge to you. You need a little bit of that edge to you. And there's such an open goal for Western guys because you've got no competition. Realistically, you don't have that, or you don't have much competition. And it's interesting, guys like who've got physical jobs, like builders and things like that, who lifting heavy shit all the time, they're not going to get, they're only working with men. They don't have to deal with, like, you know, office politics or anything. They're not going to get fired for just making a few jokes, you know, a few tit jokes or something. They typically don't have much trouble pulling women, typically. This is the thing as well, people think about it, social economic status. Yeah, of course that's relevant, but actually it's relevant in a sense, but a £10 note doesn't get a woman's vagina wet, you know? Whereas a brawny builder, giving them the look, that actually might do the trick. It might do the trick. So yeah, on the sexual side, yeah, it's just interesting how old and ancient human sexuality is. You look at all the female fantasies, I've talked about this endlessly, you know, they're a confession, they're a message to us men. Yeah, they don't fantasize about, you know, committee and sensitive lovers. They're usually fantasizing about like a werewolf railing them in a fucking graveyard or something absolutely insane, right? This is what goes on in their brains. So yeah, so that's cold approach. Anything else you can do? There's other things as well. Just all the classical stuff. Go get yourself down to a boxing gym, fight. Go get yourself to a gym and just lift heavy weights. Go and do a sprint session. I did a sprint session this morning. Yeah, just things like that, just to get the blood going, just to get the testosterone going. Go outside and do a live, yeah, in the middle of the street. Just start a YouTube channel. Just do lives, just for social confidence, right? Start more social risks. Yeah, just realize as soon as you leave the office, the second that goes, bang, it's done. The act is over. Now you can just be the real self. And what you do is that little fucked up Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde inside you, the little fucked up Mr. Hyde, who's all scrunched up and weird, he's fucked up because it's instinct that's been suppressed. What we're going to do is we're going to water him, we're going to feed him, we're going to grow him, right? Then he's going to integrate with you, yeah? So the men who actually learn to integrate these instincts properly, those are the guys that are going to win, and also win in a way that you want to win. Yeah, you feel actually good about yourself. This is again another reason why I love cold approach, is I don't want to win being fake as fuck to a girl. This is something that like the old style of game taught me. It's why I have a lot of disdain towards it. Because it taught of strategies that were indirect, and they were designed to avoid rejection, and they were basically quite pussyish. I didn't really know any better. I was young, I had nobody to teach me, right? I just found myself in clubs like, you know, strobe lights, no fucking clue what's going on. So I used some of these techniques. And years later, I realized I didn't need to use any of those. I could have just been myself in a confident, relaxed way, and just kind of teased and bullied the girl. And that actually would have worked. And it did work, it did end up working. But yeah, those lines, the old school type of game, that's just not what it is. It's just not what it is. And so going forward, this more direct, more bold, more to the point style, that will let you win in a way that you want to win. Yeah? You don't want a girlfriend and to be her servant. You don't. You sometimes can get girls by going a little bit beta, like 70% alpha, 30% beta. You can actually do that. That might even be the best way. I found myself doing that at times, but then it's just kind of like, nah, not interested. I fucked this up, love, so I'm gonna have to leave. Yeah, sorry, because I need to be somebody else that I've not really presented to you. So that's why I prefer this form of approach. And the relationships I've had since being really direct have been better. Have definitely been better. You can feel like you're negotiating. Does anyone feel like they're negotiating with a fucking terrorist, with like a girlfriend? Like a woke, semi-woke, 30% woke European girlfriend. I even dated a fucking stripper who was 30% woke. Can you actually believe that? Yeah? And there was always a little part of me, not all, and I was young, a little part of me that was negotiating with a terrorist. Yeah. No more negotiations now. Yeah? None at all. It's, I'll tell you what time we're doing stuff. I'll send you the Uber. That's it. You just relax. You don't have to think. You don't have to think. That's what girls like. Yeah, that's what they say actually when they come and spend time with me now. Is they can just relax. They can relax into their femininity because I've just got the frame here. I will organize everything, and I will just kind of sit around and just enjoy myself with you. I don't actually expect anything of them, to be honest. I don't have to do anything at all. All they need to do is just show up. That's it. And then there's like, yeah, girls I've spent like weekends with and stuff. We go out and they forget their purse, they forget everything at home. And it's like, and say it's like, it's just because like I'm so relaxed with you. That's why. Yeah. True story, I've even had a girl, this is a while ago, I had a girl piss herself in bed with me. And I'm not even joking, this is a fucked up story. And it was because she was so relaxed. That's why. She told me afterwards, I was like, it's fucking weird, but anyway. I just took the piss out of it, to be honest. I found it quite funny, but interesting, right? Interesting. So here we are 30 minutes in. Arjun, how are you, mate? Good to see you. I'm actually, what time are we? Yeah, I've got a date in about 20 minutes. I put, look at my look at my short from yesterday, dude. I would tell a quick story at the end here. This illustrates this is what I've been talking about now. About guys in the past, guys on this island, guys, and what things are like now. So yesterday I went to see my friend Luis, who's a guy, I dated his daughter about 8 or 9 years ago. He's a Dominican guy, absolute legend. One of my favorite guys I've ever met in my life. I really love having older wings and older cool guys who just to hang out with because they have life experience. You know, any guy who's 70 years old, he was once 20, he was once 30, he was once 40, he was once 50, 60, he's probably had children, he's probably been divorced, probably had grandchildren. Yeah, it's really actually worth, it's really worth listening to these guys. Right, so I go and see Luis last night, and he is, he's in his late 60s. He came to Santo Domingo when he was 16, came to stay with his brother. He left school at 16 because he didn't get quite high enough. You have to get 70% to carry on the year, and he got 68%. Bearing in mind in those days, like, I mean, it's not like you had study skills or anything like that. You had no fucking clue what was going on. So he didn't get the pass for the next year, despite the fact he's actually very smart. And so he goes out, and he's from rural Dominican Republic in the center of the country. So at 16, he's out literally chopping cane in fields, yeah? Basically like a slave, yeah? And his older brothers are like fucking bullying him, yeah, when he's 16. And one of his uncles comes over one day, spends some time with them, and then goes back to the capital. And his uncle leaves him his address and says, if you ever want to come to the capital, here's my address. So a few months go by, and one day he just comes home, he's pissed on the farm. He's pissed off with how he's been treated, gets his stuff together. Next day, gets on a bus and goes to his uncle's address, takes a 3-4 hour bus ride to the capital, and goes to his uncle's address here in Santo Domingo. Stays with his uncle, stays with his family, and gets himself going here. Starts off working in hospitality, in hotels, in a nightclub as well. Works his ass off. Then goes into construction, does all these courses like, so the guy's just like a human, he's just an absolute machine. Like I went to his area yesterday. He's practically built the entire fucking area, yeah? He's like, oh yeah, I built that church there. Oh, that my neighbor's house, I built that. And that other one, I built that one as well. The one across the street, yeah, I built that. They've got the coolest garage, yeah? The guy built his whole fucking area. I'm not even joking, it's ridiculous. So he's doing building for like 8 years. And he built his own house, yeah? And I went to his house yesterday. He had 7 children in that house. You met Maria, he had 7 children with Maria in that house. Right, really nice house. And in his mid-30s, the country wasn't doing so well then. He was doing all right for himself, but the country wasn't doing so well. And he got an offer from some guy who came over to do some building contracts. He was a Spanish guy. He got an offer to go to Spain, saw the dollars were like twice what he was getting here. So he went over, and eventually brought his whole family over to Spain. They live in Pamplona. And it's just so interesting seeing, like, he operated off instinct. His instinct was, need to go, stay with uncle. Right, need to job, work, job. Right, need to do better job, construction, do course, yeah? Build house, woman, yeah? Babies. He's got 7 daughters, yeah? But no, 7 daughters, no, 6 daughters, 1 son. And I dated one of his daughters. And all of his daughters like spreading all over Europe and stuff, like Switzerland, Spain, UK. And this guy's just an absolute legend. Like, he's one of my favorite dudes that I hang out with. Whenever I have a chance to see him or his daughter or his grandson, I just love hanging out with these people. And I was just thinking about it. I was out at on the corner shop, like this corner shop / bar / garage this woman runs, and it's like an illegal shop. There's no license or anything like that. They sell alcohol. The guys are there playing dominoes. There's a guy dancing bachata with the bartender, and there's all kids running around outside. And I'm thinking, the quality of life these people have got here in a working class Dominican area is fucking outrageous. It's outrageous. Like, they've got friends they go and hang out with every night. The lads, you can see the lads every night, yeah? Whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 70. Go play dominoes, have some banter with the boys. Every night, yeah? You've got work, no social security. There's nothing. So you have to work every day, yeah? You've got hot women everywhere. You've got children running around. People are reproducing here, yeah? Abortion is illegal, by the way, in this country, yeah? So there's children running around. Society is actually moving forward despite disadvantages. It's actually moving forward. People have got a great quality of life. What a fucking place. I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, what is going on in the West? What is happening? What is happening to people in the West? Like, guys stay at home in their 20s, 30s, 40s. They stay at home or they stay with their wives, their fucking families. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? And if you don't act like that, you're seen as a pariah. You're seen as a mafioso. You're seen as something fucking weird, right? It's just, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I wanted to tell you the story of Luis, man, because this is like an absolutely primal guy, yeah? Very, very smart, but like, do you seriously think you don't have some like more advantages than this guy? I know society is more fucked these days, but you can tread that line, right? You can be the magician. You can be the magician that treads the line between the normie shit that you've got to do, the bullshit you've got to do, and the real world you want to live in. Yeah, to tread both of those worlds, you got to be a magician. Yeah, SB sent me a video about this. I thought, yes, I like the idea of the magician. There's all these different characters. What you want to be is the guy who treads that line between the two worlds, right? You don't want to get too invested in the bullshit, new to yourself, but equally, you probably don't want to be a garbage collector, yeah? Might be an alpha job, but you probably don't want to be a garbage collector. So you want to tread that line. A lot of people want to tread that line. Yeah, a guy like Luis, I never really had to do that. I never had a corporate job. It's just so interesting as well. Like all of his Dominican daughters, they're all absolute legends. They've all got children. They're all fucking gorgeous. They're all just amazing. And then the ones that grew up in Spain, they're just like feminist bitches, horrible. Like they've literally like disowned him because he disciplined them. It's like, yeah, so you didn't become a drug-taking Spanish whore. Like, what's wrong with that? You know? So weird, man. So weird. Yeah. He's like, all of his Dominican daughters adore him, borderline worship him, and then his two Spanish daughters, they just like think he's a bastard. It's fucking weird. So yeah, guys like that, honestly, boys, older guys, just remember that. Guys who are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, do not dismiss what you can learn from them. Especially, you know, the ones that like, they were the playboys when they were younger. You can learn a ton from them. Just observe them, hang out with them, because they've probably still got it, right? But, you know, the years have passed, they maybe lost the confidence, they lost the mojo, or they've moved on to a different phase. But observe those guys, listen to them, because those are the guys you can learn from. They're generous with younger guys as well, because they want to still feel relevant at an older age. Yeah, they like to feel relevant. It's human nature. We all want to feel relevant. So, yeah, if you have those options, and maybe I'm one of those options, I'm conscious I probably am. So, by all means, I'm 40 years old. By all means, listen to me. I listen to 70-year-olds. I also listen to 20-year-olds as well. Different angles, but especially the really older guys who've just done everything, like 50 years of adulthood. If he's a solid guy, I can see that. Of course, I'm going to fucking listen to him. So I got Luis's life story yesterday. Yeah, absolutely sick. It was a night in the barrio, basically. It was absolutely fucking sick. And yeah, the guy will probably have a statue of himself up there soon, because yeah, the guy literally built this entire place. I forgot his. Oh, there's some fucking shapes here, boys. What? Let's see if they come past. Fucking hell. Boys, if you could see what I'm seeing right now. I'll have to do a live one day. Hopefully one of the guys comes down. I'll do a live one day where on lives, I just go out and just start firing on the lives. I'm solo missioning at the moment, so I can't really get much filming done. I'll be getting some. I might do some filming on the date this evening. Yeah, cheers, mate. Self-control, exactly. Yeah, honestly, it's good though. It's good. What I like about the location I'm in here, you can see I'm like next to the old city. You just walk. These are the metaphorical gates of cold approach you boys have to walk through right before your session. In April, May, if guys come out to work with me, we start off, we walk through the gates, we do some push-ups here, then we walk through the gates, and as soon as you go through, you become Christopher Columbus, right? You just go on the fucking conquest. It actually is, like, metaphorically, it is a gate you walk through, but here we have a physical gate as well. Is the mind just brain chemistry, or is there a soul? That's an intense question, my friends. There's a soul, my friend. There's a soul. Don't get me started on this question. consciousness probably is the most fundamental thing. Probably is. But yeah, you go through the metaphorical gates and then you start attacking, you start vibing. And there's not many places that you can go to where you can guarantee to see this much talent. There's very, very few, very few. Even Belgrade, it's not like here, man. Belgrade is really one of the best places for talent I've found. I've never found Santiago in north of this country. It's fucking outrageous. I've never seen anything quite like this. I'd like to check out like places like Sweden, just because I've heard that the men are a little bit more very passive, and guys like Richie's moved out there just to bully everybody in Sweden with his cold approach. He said the guys are very passive, so you just bully your way through. And those blondes are attractive, and I'd like to maybe at some point try that. You know, the Swedish, you know how the Swedish became so beautiful? They were selectively bred. Yeah, they did a breeding program into the 70s, dude. Yeah, fucking crazy shit. They did a breeding program. They're not natural mutts like us. They did a hardcore breeding program. Into the 70s. So I'd probably like to check out the results of that at some point, but this place is absolutely outrageous. You walk through and it's just option after option after option. The hardest thing is just to sometimes not do approaches. Honestly, it's harder not to approach than it is to approach. Tonight I had to cancel a date with a 19-year-old because I've got another 19-year-old coming in. I don't know, and I'm not even trying. I'm also realizing I've got to admit to myself as well, I've been going up for a lot of these model type of girls. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a status thing or something. And I'm just realizing, dude, you like big asses and big tits. Just accept it. There's something, I'm trying to make it work with these models, but there's some chemistry that's just not even there on my end and their end as well. And then the big baddies just come along and I'm just like, that just puts me into the raunchy mode. Hyperborean beauties. Yeah, thick and strong. But it's everything, man. It's the whole package. It's not just a physical look. It's the personality, it's the vibe, it's the dance, the way they dress, their pride, their sexiness, their character, their humor, their fucking cooking ability, their ability in the bedroom. I mean, it's just, what more do you want, dude? What more do you want? Like, and this will probably be, I will be continuing to go. At some point though, I'm 40. At some point, I'm just gonna knock one of these girls up. I don't know when, but it's gonna be at some point next couple of years, I would think. At the end of the day, life is simple, boys. Life is simple. I do recommend guys, I don't recommend necessarily leaving the West permanently, but I think doing a little stint somewhere like this, somewhere like Belgrade, have a change, meet some new girls, get a bit of a pep in your step, find some extra options, and also could challenge you as well. It definitely could challenge you as well. It will toughen you up a little bit. It will toughen you up in a good way, It's not like you've got to the only place I've been where I had to borderline fight off intimidating people was Istanbul. And that was mostly military and police. That was the only place I've had issues like that, because I was filming as well. But it's just like a general feel of you need to actually step in there as a guy, as a man, lightly as well. It's this weird combination of light but bold. Fun as well, have fun as well, yeah? I think sometimes, I don't know if I communicate that in the videos sometimes, can sometimes seem a bit serious, a bit Andrew Tate-ish in a way, but that's not what it's like in the approach. It's bold, it's fun, it's saucy, it's all sorts of things mixed in there. But yeah, if you're Western based, getting yourself for a retreat somewhere like this is invaluable, man. You literally, your balls will grow like a good couple of centimeters. Yeah, seriously. In the heat, if nothing else, to be honest with you. But Belgrade is a good spot for that as well. Got a soft spot for Bosnia, even though it's not that easy. I girls. So yeah, I think we'll leave things there, boys. I'm gonna go and message my date. I've got to go and send her the Uber, and yeah, I'll be back. I wasn't gonna do too many more lives. I was wanting to do more infields and stuff, but they will come through when we get to up to the north. I'm going to Carnival, so I'll get some infields for you boys with the old Ray-Bans on. But I thought, as the sun is out, I want to show you boys a little bit of the city, because some of you will be coming through to do immersions with me here, if not in 2026, certainly in 2027. Yeah, because at a certain point you will just have to give in. You will see so many luscious Latinas, you'll just be like, what am I doing out here in Ottawa? What am I doing out here in fucking Manchester or York? Let me go and spend a week with Wingbro, and let's just fucking get it cracking, let's get it going, change my life, have an amazing experience. And yeah, once you walk through those doors, just on a more serious note, once you walk through those doors, you've done the approaches, you've got me in your corner, you're sorted for life. It really is a before and after. Everyone who does an immersion, it's a before and after moment. Yeah, like my client Ethan, he went from 37-year-old Asperger's syndrome virgin. Yeah, I can't help his age, I can't help his Asperger's, but we got him across the line with cold approach, loses his virginity after 2 decades of frankly brutal suffering. Yeah, and the guy's got absolutely, like, the guy absolutely went for it, right? So he takes all of the credit, but it is also the immersion and that process that I did with him of feedback and just go, we can improve this, we can improve that, and a long process. Guy lost his fucking virginity. Yeah, or guys like Ben, the entrepreneur from the UK who came out support grade, basically got himself a girlfriend on the second day. Yeah, like mint girlfriend, the type of girlfriend that like people say, oh, they don't exist anymore. These traditional, gorgeous, like intellectual, like I don't know, she works in a lab or something, she's fucking smoking. Yeah, they do actually exist in there are loads of them as well. Yeah, there's literally millions of them. You just have to know how to bridge the gap. Yeah, or guys like Andy who came up to Manchester with me, who also has autism. These neurodiverse guys, man, they're animals. Yeah, also has autism. He got laid the next week. Smashed Manchester, and he got laid the next week. Yeah, you know, there's everyone's different, man. Everyone's different, but you see progress every single immersion, every single guy I worked with. It's like the inner beast in them that you know is there, man. You know, if there's something in you that just listens to this content and goes, yeah, I want to be the guy who goes out into the street. I want to rip off my office shirt, yeah, do a few push-ups and then get myself into some approaches. I just think it would be a great challenge for me. I think it would develop me as a man, it would make me feel free. Maybe you've got friends who are already good with women, who've got hot girls, and you feel inferior, man. It's like, what's the difference between him and me? I don't know if you've ever had that feeling. That used to fuck me off as well. Like, what's so good about this guy? It's fucking what's good about this guy? He just knew more stuff than me. Yeah, he just knew a little bit more psychology than me. And so, yeah, if you've got that beast inside you, or you've got that guy who just wants to give it a shot and knows he can do more, and knows that the apps are fucking him over, because if you're over 30 and you're under 6 foot, the apps by definition fuck you over, because the girls will say, I want under 30. 23-year-olds say, I want under 30 and over 6 foot. So if you're either of those things, you're fucked. Yeah, 5'7" bald wing bro, 40 years old, doesn't go on apps. Yeah. But yeah, as I say, I've got two 19-year-olds coming to see me tonight. One of them I had to cancel. So life ain't too fucking bad. Life ain't too bad. Boys, I will leave you with this beautiful image of the Dominican flag. Respect for my hardcore Dominican nationalists. Who's it? It's Duarte. Duarte, that's who they're celebrating today, one of the founders of the country. What a fucking guy, what a country. I'm so fucking glad that they founded this place, man. I absolutely love this place. What a place, man. So, yeah, we'll leave it today, boys. And I will catch you again soon. If I can get out at some point later this week, I definitely will do at least once, if not more than once, and just keep showing you around this place, man. Because, yeah, some of you are going to have the IRL experience in the next 18 months. I know that's going to be the case. So I'll catch you boys in the next one.